Facebook notification or something. Alex, boom! Um, I was standing up. Anyways, today I went to Supernova, this convention in Melbourne, Australia, and I dressed up as Guile from Street Fighter 2, and like just when I was making the costume and like I was listening to that music a lot, that's Guile's theme tune from Street Fighter 2. It made me nostalgic for Street Fighter 2, and I downloaded the game on my Xbox 360 for $5, Street Fighter 2. I was playing that a little bit, and then I bought Street Fighter 5 on what do you call it, PC, Steam, and so I'm kind of into Street Fighter at the moment. And I thought back to like when I was in year 8 when I first found out about it, and I thought I'd make a vlog just talking about what it was like at the time when Street Fighter came out, because maybe like people who grew up after it don't know what it was like when it came out. Um, and I just want to talk about the experience that I felt like when I was found out about the game and stuff. So basically, I think this is how I remember it. I was in year 8 in Heatherhill, and my friend Philip, he told me about this arcade game that he saw called Street Fighter 2, and he was telling me about how there was like these characters like Ryu and Guile, but I think at the time he called him Gil. Or I can't remember actually. And he was talking about the sonic booms and stuff like that. And yeah, I think yeah, it just sounded like this most amazing game ever, like magical game. And when I actually did get to see it, it was as amazing as I imagined it. Like more so, it was so good. That entire year, like those Street Fighter machines, the arcade machines, with the cabinet, with the screen and the joystick and the three buttons and the three buttons, so six buttons altogether, and two players. They popped up everywhere. Like the one that I went to a lot was my video library, Video Easy, I think it was just like a short, very short walk from my house, and that's where there and milk bars around Springvale and stuff. Um, they just popped up everywhere. Street Fighter machines, Street Fighter 2. Um, it was a phenomenon that year. Like it was so big. Like so many hours I would spend after school, or yeah, so many hours just kind of crowded around a machine. And the way it worked was normally you know how Street Fighter works. You play the game, you play the computer, you fight like all the characters, and then you fight the bosses. But then someone else can challenge you while you're playing, and mostly it was challenges, unless there wasn't enough people. It was very rare that someone would just have a free time to play all of it, unless no one was there. So people were challenged, like they were just I think the thing people did was like they put their coin up on the screen, and that was the order that you'd be next. Um, and yeah, you'd challenge and just learn how to play from that, and it was awesome. Like Capcom, the people who made Street Fighter, they made a classic. Like it is perfection. Like from the music to the characters to the gameplay, it was fantastic. I still love it to this day. It's 2016 now, and like the game came out in 1992, or probably before that even, but it reached me in 1992. So that's like four, 24. Is it 24 years? Oh, it's crazy, amazing. Um, Yeah, so yeah, there were milk bars everywhere. Like, I remember at our local one, like my local one, it was the Video Easy, like I said, and there was this guy from Heather Hill. He was like 3 years above me, or so, a few years above me. His name was Johnny I, and he was like around that era, that machine. He was like the best. He was the guy. Even to this day, when I think of him, I think of awesome Street Fighter abilities. You know, like he would win all the time. Like maybe in the grand scheme of things, like if you took all the people in Victoria, like maybe they'd be on his level or better or something. But into our minds, to my mind, he was like the best. like a Jordan level. Like it was really really cool. He was so cool as well. Really really cool. Oh, and one thing he would use he could be used every character actually. Like he'd end up trying all the characters and but one thing I actually was using Blanca at one stage, you know, the green guy who jumps around a lot. I was using him and actually got some really close matches when he was using Ryu because I had this idea like I was going to bed one night and I was thinking if the guy does a fireball and I jump while he does a fireball, I think I can kick him. And I did it a few times and after that like every time I started playing him he goes, you should choose Blanca or something like that. And then we have a close match, but when I chose someone else it wasn't as close at all. But those are good times. I think I don't know if I'm coming to the end of my. I thought it would be a really long vlog, but I just wanted to make a note that saying this is not was not just any arcade game. It was huge, like a phenomenon, like literally a phenomenon. Like for our my age group or gamers or whatever, it was massive. Like people who don't play games probably didn't even notice what happened, but to us it was huge that whole year. And then they came up with new versions like Championship Edition where you could play the bosses, then Turbo Edition, which I really liked, where they're all kind of in bluish. Like Ryu had a light blue tinge, Ken was blue, Guile was blue, and I think that was faster or something. And then you could do like fireballs in the air or something, or something. There's some cool stuff. But yeah, Street Fighter was amazing, and I'm kind of glad that it's still around. Like it's for fighting games, it's still very big. Like it's probably the biggest, and like they take a long time between them, but when they do release it, apparently they're really good. Like I haven't been playing them recently. I didn't play like 3 or 4 much, but I've got 5 on my computer now, and I bought like a controller and stuff to play it. But yeah, I just wanted to make a video saying what it was like when it came out. So I don't know if you got the idea from this video how big it was and how much it affected us, like us high school kids who would play it. Oh man, now that I think about it, like all these like 60 cents for one game. Sometimes I think it's 60 cents for one game, 2 games for $1 or something like that. Um, Looking back, it was not, to me, it wasn't a waste. It wasn't a waste of money. It wasn't a waste of time. Those are really good memories. Like, I'm really glad I did it. Um, what else? There was a whole thing about Mercy as well. There's this rules about it too that kind of developed. Like, you know how in Street Fighter it's a best of 3 rounds. So if you win the first round, if you win the second round, it's all over. But if you lose the second round and if you then play a third round. But there was a whole kind of unwritten rule after a while that kind of developed that when you played each other, you know, at the arcades, whoever won the first round, you had to let the second that person um win the second round. It was a thing. Like it was just expected. Like maybe to get more money's worth out of it or something, or I don't know. It was an unwritten code, and most of the time it was. And if someone by chance happened to not follow that and kill the person in the second round, it was like what? It was horrible. It was like you did something really really bad. So it's just the rules like that. Another rule that kind of developed in my area. I don't know if people did it everywhere, but you know, if you hit them a lot in a row, the other character has like this dizziness, like they get dizzy, and then they're vulnerable to attack. But in the places where I played, it was kind of unwritten rule that you didn't hit them when they were dizzy. You just kind of waited it out. And if you actually hit them when they were dizzy, it was like, or and throwing was frowned upon as well. That's a move, but apparently no, they didn't like that because you could kind of like just kick them and throw them, and so that was frowned upon too. So it's kind of interesting how there came all these rules that came about it as well. So yeah, I don't know if you can get the idea how awesomely of a phenomenon. I just keep saying that because it really was. There's a few things that in life are phenomenons, and that is one of them. Another one is like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when that came out, the cartoon came out. That was massive, but that's for another video. So that's all I want to say. Street Fighter 2, I love it. I got to cosplay it to this day. I could be Guile. Awesome. If I, yeah. Alright, cool. Catch you guys later. What's that word he says? Why did you quit your job and become a family man?